Hello, welcome to the course on fiber optic communication. Dear students, in the last video lecture, we have discussed about what is optical fiber communication and why we are using optical fiber communication. We have also discussed about key advantages of optical fiber communication. Outcomes of today's lectures are, at the end of this lecture, student will able to understand what is electromagnetic spectrum and which a part of the electromagnetic spectrum is used in optical communication. Student will able to understand what are the various optical spectral bands, what is multiplexing, and what are the different types of multiplexing techniques. So let's start with the first topic, which is electromagnetic spectrum. So what is electromagnetic spectrum? So electromagnetic spectrum is nothing but classification of electromagnetic waves according to its frequency or wavelength. So as you can see in the figure, there are different electromagnetic waves which are classified according to its frequency or wavelength. So first electromagnetic waves are radio waves. So radio waves are characterized by its high wavelength or low frequency, and its wavelength is greater than 1 millimeter, and high frequency radio waves are generally called microwaves. Second type of electromagnetic waves are infrared waves, and infrared waves has wavelength between 700 nanometer to 1 millimeter, and we human cannot see these infrared waves, but we can perceive it as heat on our skin. Third type of electromagnetic waves are visible region. So you can see this highlighted portion is basically part of our visible light. Okay, and visible light has a wavelength between 700 nanometer to 400 nanometer, and it is a part of electromagnetic spectrum that we can see and which is expressed through rainbow colors. Fourth type of electromagnetic waves are ultraviolet rays, and the wavelength range of ultraviolet waves are 400 nanometer to 10 nanometer, and it is responsible for our TENS. X-rays are high frequency waves, or they are characterized by the wavelength between 10 and 0.01 nanometer, and they are important in medical applications because they are used for medical diagnostics. Sixth type of electromagnetic waves are gamma rays, which has very low wavelength or high frequency. Its wavelength is less than 0.01 nanometer, and we can say that they are the high energy waves. Now what are the optical spectral bands? So after understanding electromagnetic waves, we will discuss about optical spectral bands. So as we know, in electromagnetic spectrum, the optical region ranges from 5 nanometer in ultraviolet region to 1 millimeter in infrared region. And in this region, visible band comprises the wavelength from 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. So if we look at the electromagnetic spectrum, then optical fiber communication system use near infrared spectral band with range from 770 nanometer to 1675 nanometer. So this wavelength range is used in the optical fiber communication. In this wavelength range also, the longer wavelength band, which is the 126 nanometer to 1675 nanometer, offers superlative performance. Hence, ITU, which stands for International Telecommunication Union, has fixed 6 spectral bands that can be used for long distance optical communication. तो ये जो ऑप्टिकल फाइबर कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम जो ये वेवलेंथ रेंज यूज कर रहा है इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक स्पेक्ट्रम में, उसमें भी ये जो रेंज है विच इज दी 1260 नैनोमीटर टू 1675 नैनोमीटर, This wavelength range basically offers superlative performance. Hence, ITU has fixed 6 spectral band in this range, and which these are known as optical spectral bands. So these optical spectral bands are classified as follows. So first band is original band, which is known as a O band, and its wavelength range is from 1260 nanometer to 1360 nanometer. Second band is extended band with its wavelength from 1360 nanometer to 1460 nanometer. Third band, which is known as a short band or S band, with its wavelength range from 1460 nanometer to 1530 nanometer. Fourth band is conventional band, which is known as a C band, with its wavelength range from 1530 nanometer to 1565 nanometer. Fifth band, which is the long band or L band, with wavelength range from 1565 nanometer to 1625 nanometer. And last band, which is the sixth band, which is known as a ultra long band or U band, with its wavelength range from 1625 nanometer to 1675 nanometer. And these 6 spectral bands in this wavelength range are basically known as optical spectral bands, and these bands are widely used in optical fiber communication because of its superlative performance, and these bands are recommended by ITU, International Telecommunication Union. Another topic to discuss is multiplexing. First of all, what is multiplexing and why we are using this multiplexing? तो बच्चों, ये जो कम्युनिकेशन चैनल है, जैसे कि ऑप्टिकल फाइबर ले लो, कोएक्सियल केबल ले लो, दे कैन कैरी ओनली वन सिग्नल एट एनी मोमेंट इन टाइम, एंड दिस रिजल्ट्स इन वेस्टेज ऑफ बैंडविड्थ. मतलब हमारे पास जो चैनल होती है कम्युनिकेशन चैनल, अगर वो कोई एक टाइम इंस्टेंट पे एक ही सिग्नल कैरी करता है, देन इट रिजल्ट्स इन वेस्टेज ऑफ बैंडविड्थ, मीन्स द full bandwidth of the channel is not utilized. Okay, so in order to overcome this drawback, we are using the multiplexing. So in multiplexing, we are sending multiple signals simultaneously over the communication channel, so effective utilization of the bandwidth can be done. So multiplexing is a technique which combines multiple signals into one signal, which is suitable for transmission over communication channels such as coaxial cable or optical fiber cable. So multiplexing, in short, combines multiple signals and send one aggregate signal through the communication channel. And this multiplexing is sometimes also referred as muxing. So this diagram shows the scenario without multiplexing, and this diagram shows the scenario with multiplexing. So you can see, let's say I have 3 sources, 1 to N3, N3 destination 1 to N3. So you can see in this diagram, each source uses separate channel to transmit the data towards the destination. Means we are using 3 channels for sending 3 different signals. In case of multiplexing, you can see I have only one channel to be used and 3 different sources, 3 different destinations. Means we are sending 3 signals using only one channel with multiplexing. In case without multiplexing, in order to send 3 signals from source to destination, we are using 3 different separate channels. So but obvious, here in case of multiplexing, we have to use only one channel. In case of without multiplexing, we have to use the 3 different channels. So we can say that with multiplexing, the resources are effectively utilized, or we can save the resources. Now types of multiplexing. So basically there are 2 main types of multiplexing, analog multiplexing and digital multiplexing. In analog we have 2 types, frequency division multiplexing and wavelength division multiplexing, and in digital multiplexing only one type, which is known as a time division multiplexing. So let's first discuss about frequency division multiplexing. So frequency division multiplexing is analog multiplexing technique, and it is most popular multiplexing technique in TV and radio transmission. Okay, so as we know, in frequency division multiplexing, multiple signals are combined at the transmitter into one signal and transmitted over the communication channel, and this frequency division multiplexing is also abbreviated as FDM. It is also abbreviated as FDM, which is the frequency division multiplexing. And very important to note, in this technique, the bandwidth of the communication channel should be greater than combined bandwidth of the individual signals. This is the very important point to note down over here. Okay. Now this figure shows the scenario of frequency division multiplexing. You can see I have three different signals. Okay, and I have only one channel. So this multiplexer, which is here abbreviated as MUX, combines all these signal from three different transmitter and send the one common signal over this channel. The demultiplexer split this combined signal into individual signal and send to the respective destination. Now in frequency division multiplexing, the channel is said in terms of frequency. Means we are sending the multiple signals or different frequency signal at the same time, but the frequency are different. So in FDM, the bandwidth of this channel is said, or it is divided into the different logical subchannels, and each subchannel is given to the individual user. So you can see here, this bandwidth of this channel is divided into three logical subchannel, channel 1, channel 2 and channel 3. Channel 1 is allocated to the signal 1, channel 2 is allocated to signal 2, and channel 3 is allocated to signal 3. And there is a guard band, which is the unused frequency band between two channels in order to prevent interference among the channels. So in frequency division multiplexing, it divides the bandwidth of the channel into the several logical subchannels, and each logical subchannel is allotted to for different frequencies. These individual signals are filtered and modulated in order to fit exactly into the logical subchannels. Okay, and each logical subchannel is basically separated by unused bandwidth, which is known as a guard band. Then guard band is used between two adjacent channels in order to prevent overlapping of the signals. In other words, there exists frequency gap between two adjacent signals to prevent interference or overlapping. And this guard band is basically narrow frequency range that separates the two signal frequency. Now another type of analog multiplexing technique, which is the wavelength division multiplexing. So wavelength division multiplexing is abbreviated as WDM, which is abbreviated as WDM, and it is the analog multiplexing technique, and it is the most important and popular method which is used in optical communication to increase the capacity of optical fiber cable. The working principle of this WDM or wavelength division multiplexing is very similar to frequency division multiplexing technique. The only difference is that in WDM, optical signals are used, wherein frequency division multiplexing, electrical signals are used. And in WDM, the combined optical signals are transmitted through the fiber optic cables. Okay, so wavelength division multiplexing is a technique in which multiple optical signal of different wavelengths are also referred as colors, are combined into one signal, and it is transmitted over the optical fiber communication channel. Okay, so this is the working principle of WDM, which is the wavelength division multiplexing. This figure shows the scenario of wavelength division multiplexing. So as you can see, I have three different transmitter. Transmitter 1 sending the wavelength lambda 1. Transmitter 2 will send the wavelength lambda 2, and transmitter 3 will send the wavelength lambda 3. All these three wavelengths or signals are combined by this multiplexer, which is known as a WDM multiplexer. An aggregate common signal is sent over this channel. Demultiplexer performs the reverse operation of this multiplexer, and the different wavelengths are given to the respective receivers. Now in WDM also, the entire bandwidth of the channel is divided into the logical sub-channels, and each channel is given to the different transmitter or signals. So as you can see, channel 1 is allotted to lambda 1, channel 2 is allotted to lambda 2, and channel 3 is allotted to lambda 3. And also very important to note, as in case of FDM, here all the signals are transmitted at the same instant of time, but using the different wavelengths. So in wavelength division multiplexing, the combination channel is optical fiber cable, which is known as a WDM. Okay, and in this channel also, the bandwidth of the communication channel should be greater than the combined bandwidth of the individual signal. Very important to note. Now third type of multiplexing, which is known as a time division multiplexing. This time division multiplexing is digital multiplexing technique, which is abbreviated as TDM, which is the time division multiplexing. And in this technique, the multiple signals are combined and transmitted one after another, very important to note, on the same communication channel. Means in time division multiplexing, as in FDM and WDM, the signals are transmitted at the same time, but in TDM the signals are not transmitted at the same instant of time, but they are transmitted one after another on the same communication channel. At the receiver side, the signals are separated and received, and each received signal by user at different instant of time. So the main difference between FDM and TDM, in frequency division multiplexing, all the signals of different frequency are transmitted at the same instant of time or simultaneously. But in time division multiplexing, all the signals operate with the same frequency but transmitted at different times. So this is the key difference between FDM and TDM. फ्रीक्वेंसी डिवीजन मल्टीप्लेक्सिंग में सारे सिग्नल डिफरेंट फ्रीक्वेंसी के होते हैं और सबको हम एक ही टाइम पे कॉमन चैनल थ्रू ट्रांसमिट करते हैं. बट टाइम डिवीजन में क्या होता है, सब सिग्नल की फ्रीक्वेंसी सेम होती है लेकिन ऑल आर ट्रांसमिटेड एट दी डिफरेंट टाइम इंस्टेंट. So in frequency division multiplexing we can say sharing of channel is done basis on frequency, where in TDM sharing of channel is done on the basis of time. The figure shows the scenario of time division multiplexing. So you can see I have 4 users A, B, C and D, or 4 transmitter A, B, C and D. So you can see at particular time instant T1, this is a time instant T1, let's say time slot T1. The total time is divided into the different time slot. So in the time slot T1, user A can send data. In time slot T2, user or transmitter T2, transmitter B can send data. In time slot T3, transmitter C can send the data. In time slot T4, transmitter D can send the data. Means all the transmitter or all the signals are not transmitted at the same time, but each user or transmitter allotted fixed time slot. In that time slot only the user or transmitter can send the data. So in this case the users can send the data turn by turn, one by one. Okay. So in time division multiplexing, each user is allotted particular time interval called time slot, during which the data can be transmitted. Okay. So in time division multiplexing, all the signals are not transmitted simultaneously, they are transmitted one after another. And very important to note, the bandwidth capacity of the channel, this channel should be greater than multiple input signal bandwidth. Okay, so this is the different multiplexing technique. So basically the main advantage of multiplexing technique is to effectively utilization of the bandwidth of the given channel. So I hope कि आज के लेक्चर में जो हमने डिस्कस किया आपको समझ में आ गया होगा. Rest of year we'll discuss other aspect of this chapter in our next video lecture. Thank you very much.